All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm on here this morning for an update on the Carolina Nexus and our episodes going forward. I'm also here to explain the way the format of the show is going to work going forward. I'm going to give some people some time to come on. While I'm giving them time to come on and watch me live, I'm going to go through my sponsors. Number one sponsor, Dubby. Dubby.gg. Go online, order your energy powder drinks. They're amazing. I highly recommend them to anyone that loves mixing their own energy drinks. They don't have the crash at the end. I finished mine for today. Very delicious flavors. I'm currently still working on the California Dream, which is like an orange dreamsicle, and it's amazing. I love the orange dreamsicles. It tastes like the Flintstone push pops from the 90s. Love it. Highly recommend it. Bliss Day Salon and Spa, proudly supporting Cleveland County for all your self care needs. Check them out. Give Suki a call. Book with her team. The Carolina Nexus book series, which is the entire reason this podcast exists. All written by me. They're available on Amazon now. I'll have a link at the bottom of the screen later. Gamers Dream Haven, online retro video game store, owned, operated, and executed by my very good friend Trey Smith. Check him out online. Cynthia's Clean Team. Give Cynthia a call. She'll tell you what she can and cannot do to help you maintain your cleanliness, because cleanliness is next to godliness. The Lady Hawks youth softball team. They're facing down that championship with the intensity of the Hawk. I'm very proud of these girls and the work they put in. I cannot wait to see and announce that they are the new youth softball champions. Keep them in your prayers. Ladies, keep doing your hard work. We here at the Carolina Nexus are proud of you. Garden of Eden Photography. Eden Jamerson is one hell of a photographer. She will get you the perfect imaging, the perfect lighting, the perfect angles. You will not be disappointed, and they're very affordable. She did Amber's maternity pics, and it was amazing. Eye Catching Customs, my boy Cody Bowen. He does his own spin on things, custom merchandise. If he can't make it, he'll figure it out for you. Very affordable. Check him out. You can catch him on Snapchat, on Facebook, on TikTok. Spencer & Co. Book Company, books, coffee, gifts. Highly recommend you go check them out for all your book needs, all your coffee needs. They have some amazing food. They supported me last year with my book signing event. They hosted myself, my daughter Caitlin, my wife, my daughter Paisley. We sat down there, we signed books and everything, and it was amazing. The number wise, it was a success. But in my personal opinion, it could have been better because Amazon screwed me over. Spencer & Co. went above and beyond to make sure we were comfortable. Proud to say I'm supported by these guys. The Elaine Project by Jerry Para. I highly recommend you pick this up. It has everything you love in a book. Action, suspense, humor. It has it all. Check it out. I couldn't put it down. I read it in 2 days. Hashtag I'm going to say it with Greg Roper over on TikTok. Go check him out. As one of my close personal friends, Greg Roper and I do not share the same views on a lot of topics, but we don't let those topics that we do not share views on affect our friendship. If you want to hear somebody that's outspoken, he's not afraid to say what everybody else in the room is thinking, go check him out over on TikTok. Greg Roper, Mr. G Smooth, breaking news. He will tell you like it is. Right now, his podcast is covering some heavy duty stuff, and I enjoy listening to it. Diverse Tax Solutions, tax preparation services. It's that time of year, ladies and gentlemen. Kyle Chinez, he'll help you get through this stressful time. And while you're stressing, if you're like me and you get hungry while you're stressing, Little Daddy's Barbecue and Mo. Can't stress enough how good the food is. It's a bit of soul food for your soul. Go check him out. Very delicious. You will have no complaints. TCW presents Valentine's Vengeance, February 21st, the day before my birthday, ladies and gentlemen. Historic Shelby City Park. You will not be disappointed. The talent there on the card. They're all world-class athletes. They do things in the ring that no one else can do. Go check them out. My special guest from yesterday, the American Diesel dump truck, he's on that show and he's out for championship glory. Go check him out, ladies and gentlemen. And then, of course, we got Gemstone Championship Wrestling, the all-female promotion, the first of its kind here in the Carolinas. Ladies and gentlemen, they're going to bring the women's revolution of wrestling to the Carolinas, to Ric Flair country, and they're going to bring it here for your entertainment April 18th. Go check them out. And if you're a connoisseur of sorts, the American Diesel dump truck, he sells diesel honey. Go check it out. I've got mine ordered. As soon as it comes in, I'll do a taste test live on the show, give you guys my personal opinion of it. Styling Jane's Boutique. She creates custom materials, custom merchandise. She can make you decals and stickers, t-shirts, hoodies, and she's recently upgraded to doing engravings, so she can engrave you a cutting board for your kitchen, customized, of course. And then, of course, we got hashtag truth. When Scott Larson, my producer, decides to grace us with his presence again, we all going to be having a great time because hashtag truth's going to come back bigger, stronger, and better. But he said yesterday during my live with Dump Truck that he had so much fun on that side of the microphone, he may not come back. The decision's totally yours, Scott. We love you. We support every decision you make. Thank you for inspiring the Carolina Nexus. Thank you for having me on your show. I really appreciate all the work you've done for the Carolina Nexus, Scott, and I'm proud to say you're my best friend and that we would do anything for each other. Now, let's get down to the nitty-gritty, ladies and gentlemen. Going forward, the format of my show, I said I was going to flip the there we go, better lighting. Said I was going to flip the format of a podcast upside down. And originally, I planned on doing just that, having all my special guests come on to ask me their personal questions on my show. And I will do that. I will stick to that format. But, and this is a very big but, there will be certain circumstances, like with the dump truck interview yesterday, where I will revert back to the original podcast formula. I will interview the special guest. Yesterday was one of those times that I felt it was better for the show for me to do the interviewing because I learned something new about dump truck that I didn't think anybody else knew, and I wanted to bring that to light. I never knew dump truck was an artist. To look at the man, and I told him this yesterday on the show, you would think the only thing that man lifts up are dumbbells and weights in the gym and his opponents in the ring. I had no idea he picked up a pencil, a number 2 pencil at that, and sketches. He just doesn't look the type, and I like interviewing people like that. Getting inside their brains and seeing how it works. It's almost the same as people trying to get inside my brain and see how my creative process works. And he and I agreed on one thing. It's not about the journey, it's the end product. So Truck and I are going to get together and he's going to work on doing a comic, a graphic novel of sorts for Hometown Justice. And I'm excited to have that opportunity to work with Dump Truck on that project. I don't know when the first, sneak peeks will be available, but I got to get the books to Truck. And once I get the books to Truck and he reads them and decides what direction he wants to take it in, artistically, we'll go from there. I'm giving him full creative freedom with my characters to draw them how he sees fit, how he physically imagines them, that sort of thing. So, yeah, that's a project in the works from the Carolina Nexus podcast and the American Diesel dump truck. I'm really excited about the opportunity to work with him. But back to the formula. The formula of the show. Originally, I was supposed to have a co-host. Due to scheduling conflicts, she's not able to appear. She hasn't yet to make an appearance since the show has started officially. She was on a few test runs with me, which is fine. We're working out the kinks of that to get her on the show. Today is her birthday. Happy birthday from the Carolina Nexus to Caitlin Cloninger. She's 19. She's doing big things. We're proud of her. Caitlin, I love you, honey. I hope you have the best day ever. We will get you on the show as soon as possible. The next Carolina Nexus podcast episode that I plan on doing fully is supposed to take place tomorrow. However, due to time constraints, we're going to have to reschedule that for Tuesday because I have to work tomorrow. My shoot job changed the schedule around, and I now have to work tomorrow, and I won't be able to meet him at the time he needs to meet. So my special guest for tomorrow is being rescheduled. We won't be discussing the Sheriff Jordan Reyes like I originally planned. However, that will take place on Tuesday. So Jordan Reyes and myself will come on the camera like Truck and I did. We're going to discuss the character of Sheriff Jordan Reyes in Hometown Justice. Going to compare and contrast the two of them and go from there. That's the format for that show. In the event that I bring a guest on to talk about their hobbies, it'll be a different format. It'll be me interviewing them, and then they can ask me questions concerning their hobby. However we want to do it. I do know I plan on doing a Magic the Gathering episode, a video game episode. I have those planned. They're in the works. But it's been a slow process. I got to get viewership up before I can do special episodes. The truck episode currently, hang on, let me see if I can tell you guys exact numbers here. I got the email yesterday, and I promised you I'd tell you. Where's the email? There it is. So the truck numbers. Average viewers plus 700%. And that's because they were interested in truck. Got to give the man credit. He puts eyes and butts in seats. Thank you, Truck, for increasing my viewership. I really appreciate that. Total chat messages up 12,200% from previous stream. Previous stream, I only had 60 messages. This last stream that I had with Dump Truck, 123. I thank you guys for everything. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for interacting, liking, sharing, subscribing. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. We're going to make this Carolina Nexus podcast as big as we can. We're going to take it to the next stage, to the next level. And part of that has to do with my production value. As you see right now, I'm not really in a greatly lit room like I was when I interviewed Truck. I'm working on it. Things are coming down the pipeline. The room that I was in to film with the interview with Truck, I'll continue using it as long as I possibly can on the days that I'm physically able to use it. Other days, I will be using a green screen behind me to hide what's behind me and lights from above and all that good stuff. Production is my biggest thing, and Scott Larson and I have talked about it. Like I said, he's the producer of the show. He's helping me make the changes I need to make this show successful. Working out scheduling with Caitlin, getting her a set schedule to when she can be on the shows, that's a priority. Because I think Caitlin and I work really well off each other, especially when we start talking about the Casey Elkins books. That's her favorite book series. And I can't wait to get into that book series with her because I have a special guest lined up for that book series as well. Zach Courier, the character of Sheriff Zachary Courier in the book, is based off a guy I work with at Lowe's. Zach, I had him on the show for the testing period. I'm going to bring him back on. We're going to discuss his life, his career as a football athlete, and go from there, and then compare and contrast those characters as well. A lot of the things you see when I finally do the interview with Jordan Reyes is going to be the format for how the show works when I have special guests. I do want to bring on some wrestling promoters. I'm trying to stay away from wrestling because I'm respecting Scott. But wrestling is a big passion of mine. So I'm going to bring on some wrestling promoters. I know I have Gemstone Wrestling's promoter. I'm bringing her on. The owner, I'm bringing her on. TCW's promoter and owner, I'm bringing her on. At some point, I'm going to bring them on, and we're going to discuss the shows. And I'm not going to sugarcoat this for anybody out there that's watching. Everything said on my show is uncensored. So I can't control what is said by a guest on my show. I can't control what I say. It's uncensored, it's unedited, it's raw. And I'm not talking 1993 raw as war. I'm talking raw as in you never know what's going to come out of somebody's mouth. So I'm not going to have a bleep button up here. I will have crowd sounds, and I'll do my best to cover it up, but I can't promise I'll be able to get every single cuss word bleeped out. I can't promise that I will be able to get everything kosher for all the Karens of the world that want to edit and cancel shows. So bear in mind, my show does not have a rating. And that is simply because without the rating, I don't have to worry about censorship and being canceled because, well, my guest said this word. We don't want you saying that word because you're rated. I'm not rated simply because I know I can't control my guest. I can ask them while they're on the show, hey, we're going to keep it PG-13. And to an extent, most of my guests will be professional enough to do that. But, heat of the moment, if you're a wrestler, you're trying to stay in character, heat of the moment, and you're going to say some things that are off the wall. And when you say those things, I can't control when you say them. So I'm protecting myself, protecting the guest. We are not going to get taken down because we're not rated. We're going to try our best to keep it PG-13. But again, you can't control everything. I'm not going to be a micromanager. I don't give them scripts. The only thing scripted about the interview with Truck is I wrote down the questions that I wanted to ask him so I didn't forget them. Because my mind's going a mile a minute between writing books and being a father and assistant manager and all these other things I have going on in life. My mind is going 1,000 miles a minute, and sometimes the train derails, just like you saw. But Scott Larson, you're very correct. It is very hard to keep the world from being worldly. I saw you try to do it, Scott. I'm just following your cues. I'm gonna ask them to keep it PG, but I do know that sometimes it's hard to keep them from being so in character. They let words slip, and that's all I have to say about that. Most of my guests will understand that it's PG, and we're gonna keep it as clean as possible. I'm the world's worst at cussing. I let them fly because in my mind they're not really bad words. They're just words that people find taboo, and as long as you treat them like a bad word, they're going to be a bad word. I don't mind sprinkling them in to season my sentences. That's what I call them, sentence seasoners, sentence enhancers. But I had an English teacher tell me that a word is only as bad as you allow it to be. So I'm not controlling what my guests say. My show is not rated. Once my show has a rating slapped on it, then I'll have to be a bit more of a micromanager. But again, this is the format of the show. It's the way it's going to take place. Special guests come on. Exactly, Scott. But the format will be special guests will come on the screen. They will be here to interview me about my books. We'll mainly be discussing characters based off them in the books. There will be certain exceptions, like with the dump truck interview yesterday, where I interview the guest. Those will be few and far between because I'm trying to flip the podcast scenario on its head and do something different than everybody else. Give you something to invest in. So if my special guests are coming on to interview the host, that's something worth investing in because it's never been done before. If Maury Pulverick had his guest come on and interview him and give him DNA test, that would have been a little bit shocking, don't you think? So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to flip the script and give you guys something to invest in because as my mentor has always told me, giving the fans something to invest in is always worth something. Scott, how are you doing this morning? I hope you're doing all right. Hope you're not out here walking in this weather we got going on down here in South Cackalack. Let's do this. Put this on the screen. I told you guys earlier, this is how you find my books on Amazon. Step-by-step instructions down there at the bottom of the screen. Scott, I'm glad you're at peace. And I don't know if you caught the opening of my show, but if you decide to stay on that side of the microphone, we respect your decision. Just know there's going to be an episode of Carolina Nexus dedicated to you. All right, so which one of you guys wants to get together with me and go groundhog hunting? Because that groundhog lied to us. I don't care what anybody says. There's no way we're getting 6 more weeks of the weather we've had the past 2 weeks. I will get with you after I get off this broadcast, and we'll plan that episode. I'm giving you full producer credits, Scott. You inspired this show, and I will always mention hashtag truth in my opening. That's just who I am. Giving credit where credit is due. I hope to one day be as big as hashtag truth was. I want to, again, thank you from the bottom of my heart for all that you've done, for promoting me as an author. You're an incredible person. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart, Scott. I love you too, brother. Well, Scott, while I'm on the air and I got you can speak freely. You can't hurt my feelings. Your opinions on the show yesterday. Anything I could have done different, anything I could have changed. Opinions, Scott. Let me hear it. Because you're the most professional interviewer / podcast host that I know. I value your opinion, and I want the world to see that I'm asking you for your critiquing. Now he's typing a book. That scares me. I still got to get Goalie Guns on the show. I've just been so busy with everything, trying to get everything in order, and the internet being out for 2 weeks, and Goalie's got some stuff he's going through. I really want to bring Goalie on the show. And see, Scott, I've tried to fix that. But if I make it small to fit like the W logo up here, it blurs the image and you can't really tell what it says. I'm playing around with it, trying to figure it out. Honestly, that's what I'm trying to do. Maybe you and I can get together and we can work something out for that. Because, like, I could do this. Hang on. Thought I could anyway. Nope. Not working. Working on that now, Scott. But thank you for your honest opinion. I do appreciate that, Scott. That's why you're one of my best friends. I trust your opinion. I trust you to critique me, and I know you can't hurt my feelings with just some words. So Scott's another one of those people that he and I don't agree on a lot of things, but the things we do agree on, take toward those agreements, and then the thing we don't agree on, we don't allow it to define our friendship. Stupid computer. It's freezing up on me. Hold on, guys. Well, Scott, it's just like I had this conversation with a coworker yesterday. They were asking me how I'm friends with people who have different political views than me. I don't allow politics to become my whole personality. And I think that's what the world needs. It's what this country needs. Yeah, you can support the Democrats and I can support Republicans. Friends. Because in high school, I didn't play politics in high school. I was the nerd, but I was friends with everybody. I had friends that were jocks. I had friends that were emo. I had friends that were cheerleaders and popular and they had money. I was a broke kid whose parents bought his clothes secondhand or at Walmart. But I was hanging out with people who bought their clothes from Baby Gap and Navy, Old Navy, and American Eagle. Affiliations, political or non-political, it doesn't bother me. What bothers me is when they're trying to shove their beliefs down my throat. I have no problem with people that are Republican, that are Democrat, that are liberal, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Just don't shove your beliefs down my throat because I'm not trying to shove my beliefs down your throat. I'm I'm cool, laid back. I will find something for us to be friends over that isn't politics. I will find something that doesn't have to define um our friendship. Like when I was growing up, the biggest feud that we had, biggest disagreements. Do you watch Monday Nitro on Monday nights or do you watch Monday Night Raw? That was the biggest disagreement. The world was so divided at that point in time in my life. That was all I worried about. You're right. That is why we're friends with Greg Roper and Matt Collins. They agree to disagree on politics, but we don't let it destroy the friendships. A lot of things that Greg Roper says on his podcast, I agree with. A lot of the things that he says about the Republican Party, I agree with. I'm not rich enough to worry about what's going on like that. So I don't allow it to define friendships. I don't allow it to define me. I have a friend that I graduated high school with, Blake Childers. Me too. Me too. But in 2001, when that shift changed, then it was Austin and Rock. Which side of the fence you on there? I was always an Austin guy. Beside the point. But Blake Childers is a very good friend of mine from high school. And nobody liked talking to Blake because Blake would debate the hell out of you. I like Blake. I'll debate with Blake. Because I know at the end of the day, no matter what I say in that debate, it's not going to affect our friendship. And Blake doesn't have to always debate politics. He'll debate ice cream flavors with you. And that's what makes talking with Blake fun. You never know what kind of debate he's going to bring to your attention. Paisley would agree with you on that, Scott, but it's always been Austin. And I say this because Austin got to live every blue collar American's dream. He got to go to work, drink beer, and beat his boss. Can't tell me you never wanted to do that. Agreed. And even after they dropped the F and put the E in there, he still beat his boss every chance he got a chance to. Austin is the first wrestler in the history of the world to hit his finishing move on a president of the United States. You think Hogan could have got away with that? You think Hogan could have got by with dropping a leg across the president of the United States back in his heyday? No. Who got it over, though? Austin. Austin got it over stunning the president. Of course, he wasn't president when Austin stunned him, but that's beside the point. All right, Scott, that image has been sent to you. Oh. All right, guys, I've been on here. I've talked with Scott. If nobody else is going to ask any questions, I'm going to cut it short so I can get ready to go to work. Have a great day. Tune in next Tuesday for the Jordan Reyes episode because I've got that in the bag for that day. I can do it later in the day because of his time constraints and my time constraints. Tuesday's my day off. I will be doing that with Jordan Reyes on that day. Again, we're comparing and contrasting the sheriff of Pokeful in the first Hometown Justice book, Hometown Justice Homecoming. Scott, I hope you tune in for that because I want to see your reactions to the guy that played this character that this character is based off of. I know you've read the book. And Lucy Fur, if you're watching, I want you to pay attention too, because you've read the books too. So you guys tune in next Tuesday. It's going to be about 12 o'clock. We'll be online with Jordan Reyes to discuss Sheriff Jordan Reyes and Hometown Justice Homecoming. Until then, you guys have a good day. Stay warm, stay safe.